everybody. Welcome to Nothing's Wrong podcast. I'm Isabel.
Welcome, and I am Catherine.
And it's another Sunday. What's up, guys? Make sure you are liking and following and all that good stuff while we are just getting started in here.
Welcome, everybody. Make sure you also go to our social media, hit up our Instagram, and after that, hit up our YouTube. And if you want to listen to us audio, you can go ahead and listen to us on Spotify, Apple Music, all the podcast platforms. And then also check out TDR Network because they have also podcasts just like us, even more. So check them out. And tonight, I know you guys seen the title.
What is the title?
The title is called The Grand Scheme of Things. So we got a lot going on tonight. We're actually going to be implementing a video as well about a few things. Well, just a parent letting another child know who had a child. Well, actually twins. And she'll go dive into that. But we're just definitely going to be talking about the grand scheme of life and period.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, this should be interesting.
Right.
You guys know we don't really prep anything too much for the show. So usually when topics are being brought up, it's all organic and whatever you guys want to talk about. So I hope you guys are enjoying that. What's going on?
What's going on?
Can y'all say hey in the comments?
Right. Let us know that you can hear us. Let us know that you are reposting this so everybody else can know that we're in here so they can chime in and actually enjoy tonight's show.
How's your spring break been going?
Spring break, girl, every day is a spring break for me, but it's been going good. I've been also seeing that the youngsters, the college kids are out in Miami.
Oh my God. They are
acting a fool.
Going crazy.
Acting nuts.
The videos have been insane.
Right. And I'm so shocked about it. And I was, well, I'm not shocked because during our spring break, did you feel like it was as much people as it is right now?
No, it wasn't like that. I think with COVID and stuff like that, it's why.
It was like COVID where? You watching
but because like it's more just a couple of like places you can actually go and travel, then those places would be condensed with a lot more people.
Yeah. But it seemed like they had a good time and sad time because a lot of people actually died and young kids making wrong choices because they want to be popular and they want to show people that they could do things and that they want to leave with girls and give them drugs and do stupid things. A lot of these kids are just making wrong choices. And I'm so glad that this woman here, who we're going to be playing later, and she's talking about like young people making bad choices and becoming parents. So
Ibrahim says, hello, beautiful ladies.
Hello,
hi,
beautiful mother.
Thank you for tuning in.
Yes.
Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Yeah, and even like with the grand scheme of things, even behind that, like the whole parenting thing, the whole children thing, that whole, going through the different stages of being, really, with the stages we all have to go through unless, you die. But
we do have to go through that. And then we also have to have fun too. I mean, like those kids were actually, having a good time. And despite, the craziness that was happening during that time, but, some of them had a good time. But be careful out there, youngsters, making those kind of choices. We'll wait until some more people come in so we can definitely...
we actually made it on time today, guys.
Yeah.
Aren't you proud of us? We never get here.
My notebook's all in the scene.
The time that we say we're going to get here. Your lipstick is too.
Oh. Because I didn't want to forget it. But I'll put this here.
Do you ever change your lipstick on
screen?
Yeah, I never
touch it up? No, but I was about to.
Why?
I don't know. Sometimes, when you have lipstick or something in your hand, you're like, oh, let me just put it on. But it's just like, you don't actually need it. Now you're kicking up some massive amount of products on your lip and you're tasting product. Yeah. It's not good.
Anyways, go and speak about what you want to speak about. We can play the video later.
Okay. So I was diving into Miami, and then also I know a lot of people are talking about Derek Jackson and what's happening with him. I know we don't like to gossip about people we don't know, but it's just it's so crazy that I've seen that so many people are talking about him, but never was talking about him when he was talking about women, right? And how women should treat him. It's when he messed up, and now you're saying, "Well, hey, your man now." Check black men out. All black men.
That's because people like to see people fail, and that's the biggest thing. It's nobody was looking up Derek Jackson when he was saying, "Hey, do right by women," and no matter what his message is, at the end of the day, we're not. I mean, he's not if you're looking at anybody to be that perfect person, you're going to just disappoint yourself over and over and over again. Everybody is human. Everybody makes mistakes. And I think that, it's good for his brand.
What is good for his brand?
It's good for his brand because he got 200,000 more followers after this. So that's a fast way. His girl got a lot of followers. His wife. Had a lot of followers. I just think it's a really messy situation. And at the end of the day, make it work for you. I just don't agree with all of it was God situation. I think that's it. That's people use God and religion as an excuse for a lot of their behavior. It's so
disrespectful. At the end of the day.
It is. Because when you actually listen, when you're intelligent enough to really read and read between the lines and really listen to what people are saying, a lot of what people are saying first doesn't make sense. People are constantly contradicting themselves, and he was the plain example. Everything he was saying was basically him talking to himself, and him coming out with that video in third person. That was basically what he was saying. It's the whole time I was talking about me.
Right, exactly. He was like, I was talking me. Exactly. I was talking in experience. So he does talk in third person. When he's talking.
Y'all just didn't know that. No. Y'all thought he was talking to y'all. He was talking to himself.
It's is he crazy? It's people are crazy when they're talking to themselves. But who else are you going to talk to?
Whatever made him who he is. And I think that, his wife is clearly, they're just a very interesting couple. And there's a whole bunch to decode into that whole situation, what it's really telling you and what it's really about. But if they want to stay together, I guess.
To me, I think at the end of the day, it's going to market him to, if people want to market him, they would basically tell him that to admit that he's a sex addict. What I mean? Yeah. Because there's more women that's coming along to confess their truth and for clout. And some of them may not be for clout, but just to show. I think that a lot of people came out just because they wanted him to see that they wanted the world to see who he was. Because I heard also that he was abusive. So,
right.
But at the end of the day, it's not my business. And
it really just comes down to the wife. It's about what she would do. Now, what would you do if you were in her situation?
First of all, what I would do is I would see why he was doing it. And clearly the internet already told her it was her appearance.
Yeah.
Oh, it's because of your appearance is the reason why he cheated on you. And another thing is, definitely I would check my appearance. First of all, that situation wouldn't happen to me the same way it would, but actually it does because it happens to all women. A lot of women deal with cheaters. And
of course.
Right.
Men cheat.
Right.
Some men don't. Right. And the men who don't, it's because they found what they were looking for real. Mm-hmm. It comes down to, are you what that person truly is looking for? There comes a time when you're not looking anymore. Say you're buying a house and you find your dream house. Mm-hmm. No other house you're going to be looking for anymore. Right. It's the same thing with a woman, essentially, or a man. Once you find that person, you're not necessarily checking for anybody else. Mm-hmm. And a lot of these guys haven't really found their person. They just settled for whatever was convenient, or they there's a number of reasons why you do that. And so that's why I think it's really good to get yourself together first.
Right.
And so that way you can attract people who is either all on your level or better. Like, you always just want to choose the people that you spend to your life with, especially the people you can choose, like, you know, your wife and your children and your legacy and, you know, your friends. You want to be very cautious with that. I really do believe in that.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think that you really have to just, with people have to understand that there's an age gap. But if we're going back to Derek Jackson, his age, he's only like in his 30s, right? He looked like, I thought he was like older than what he was.
Yeah.
And people don't kind of find out who they want to be with until they get older, because a lot of people are just fulfilling some of the part of their needs, like the physical touch part or the communication or whatever the case may be. But they don't see them long term as wives, or, you know, because a lot of men aren't on that mindset.
Yeah. Well, I think that for me personally, I think that if you're going to impregnate somebody, I think that you need to be looking at marriage with that person. And that's why it's important. Like, I think that people just don't take the time to actually think about the future.
Right.
They don't think past their emotions. And this is an issue that goes a lot with unsuccessful people, unfortunately.
Yeah.
They don't think past their emotions. And once you start thinking past your emotions, you'll start realizing that a lot of the decisions you made were very emotional, and they left you with things that you don't want. And that's why they always say, before you make a decision, sleep on it. So then that time your emotions have passed, your logic has kicked in, your intuition has come into play, and signs already happen, and then you can make a decision. I think people rush through life and think it's a game, and they don't want to play. It is a game, but if you don't play it accurately and smart and wise, you end up making like huge life-changing decisions that just hold you back, and will not even hold you back because you can finesse anything, but really just change the trajectory of your life.
It's true. And I've seen that for myself. Like, me making dumb decisions was because I was doing those type of situations.
Right.
So yeah, definitely. That's the grand scheme of things anyways, is to, like, actually think before you talk as well, and think before you make a move. Like, you know, really contemplate if this is something that you want to experience in your life, because I'm also going to talk about like the Candace Owens thing, like that we just watched a long time ago. Like, it was in 2019, of just us just as.
Did you put the clip?
No, I didn't put the clip. I didn't think we were going to talk about that.
Oh,
but it's an easy way of doing it.
If you can send it to me.
Oh, I did already. It's on your messaging. Of our African American people. We can get information from anybody, but then when it's like you hear the truth, or it's not even truth to you, because at the end of the day, it's just like, if you don't like somebody, you don't like something that they value.
It's cool.
You sent it to me.
We'll show it another day, but you can go on.
Just like, if you don't like someone, and even if they're telling you the truth, you won't value what they say due to the fact of who they are, who they associate themselves with. But when someone has valuable information, I feel like we won't accept it if it's not the common thing that our culture approves of.
What do you mean?
For instance, the Candace Owens things in 2019, she went to the Revolt conference where they were basically just talking about things that are happening. And
those of you who don't know, Candace Owens is a conservative political speaker. If you guys check her out, she's a Black woman. And yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, a lot of people don't really like her because she was on Trump's side. And at the end of the day, she was just saying to the people that she was trying to explain to them they won't let her speak, first of all, because she brings Trump up, and, you know, people go crazy because they scream racism. And she said that Trump will corrupt, because every time Black people hear the word race is like anytime they hear racism, they cry and they scream about it.
Right.
And it could be anything. And it's just like,
it's a very emotional response.
Exactly.
And that's what holds you back. And it's literally, if somebody knows what triggers you, they control you.
That's
and
what
Black people,
to them as
it's like your triggers are so easy.
Your trigger is racism.
Right. And it shouldn't be a trigger. And I just think that's the society that we're living in now, where being sensitive is just like overtly pushed. It's like, no, be emotional about it, be sensitive, but you're not realizing when you give that emotion, it's not like, oh, I just gave that emotion.
Right.
You're actually taking that emotion from your energy. You're spewing that energy out. And whatever you put out comes back to you. You're going to continue to be in this reciprocal relationship with your racism issue or your emotional reactions. And I think that people need to realize that this is a big problem. And we speak a lot about knowing the game and finessing and seeing the bigger scheme of things. And a lot of it comes from, like I said, if you're not looking in the future, if you're not looking for your better self, if you're not looking out for yourself, and you keep on making these decisions that don't bring you anything but emotional gratification. I had saw a video. Ibrahim says it's not only Black people, it's every race. Yes, it's become every race now.
Yeah.
Now exactly. It's become every race, but it's not, it's good. Can we not?
Yeah, don't worry. I'm doing something, multitasking while you were speaking. Go ahead, speak. You were saying something.
See, when people try to do something, it's just...
Why is it distracting you? You were saying something very motivational.
Yeah, because I'm trying to look at what you're doing at the same time.
Don't worry about it.
Okay. Well, sorry. Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
I obviously lost. Okay, it's not only Black people, it's every race. I think so as well, but I think that we are the leaders of what becomes something that people do. Like basically, Asian hate is more trending and popular now than even Black hate. This is the thing. We set the tone. We are the ones that let people know what is going on and how they should feel and all of this stuff. So if we ourselves are continuously affected and emotional, we bring other people in that. And that's why other races are saying, oh, this, oh, that, oh, this, oh, that. And it's like they're using Black people to get their agenda put in. It's a weird thing. It's very weird. And yeah. What's going on with this?
You can mute the...
How do we get this here?
By going into share.
Let's see.
Nope. You would go to application. And then you would pick that one.
All right.
Sometimes Isabel thinks that she has everything. And then when you're like, girl, focus on you. And then I'll focus on me. And then when I'm ready for you, I'll intervene. So please don't lose your train of thought and think whatever's happening with someone else is more important. And so the clip that we're about to show as we all come in here, hit the like button. We're going to be showing a clip of Candace Owens actually trying to, this is old, so I don't want to hear nothing in the comments talking about this is old news. No, this ain't old. Everything that was
it's just take it in. It's just
exactly.
Take it in. It's not nothing to, it's already passed.
Right.
Yeah. So
let's add it on in and make sure you hit the like button, hit the love button, hit the share button as you listen in.
Same thing on the other side. How are we negotiating? What is the negotiation tactics so that we're not acquiescing to somebody else's agenda, but being clear about ours in the process of giving them our support?
Well, I would say the first thing is that it's important to identify what our agenda actually is. And I think that the most important thing for people in this room to understand is that there is a very small window. Right now, the Black vote is the most important vote in the country. There's a very small window before our vote's not going to matter. These conferences won't matter, and us sitting here won't matter. because illegal immigration, if you're looking at the numbers, every new birth in this country, 60% of all new births are Hispanic Americans, and the Democrats are about, listen, you're saying, let me get to the point. I'm going to tell you what's wrong with it. I say illegal is the new black because it's true. And there's a reason why they're advocating for open borders. Right now, our vote means a lot, but new births of Black Americans have stagnated. The population growth within Black America has stagnated. So the things that I pay attention to are the numbers. I pay attention to the birth rates in this country, which is why I'm pro putting something down to stop illegal immigration. The second thing that I think is really important, and you may have heard me testify in front of Congress, is the illiteracy rates that are facing Black America. 75% of Black boys in California can't pass a reading exam. Across Baltimore, they looked at 5 schools. They couldn't find a single Black boy that was a single Black child that could pass a.
So as we put this on, Tone Deaf says, "Hey, ladies." Hey. So if let's start from what she just said.
Yeah,
I feel like she said a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, let me just make sure that Tone. Okay, yeah. So shout out to Tone Deaf. Sorry. Check us out on TDR Network, guys, for all your great podcasts. But I think that what she said, a lot of people didn't really hear what she said.
And my problem with people is that people don't let people speak. They just already, you can hear in the background, just people being very ignorant and not allowing, a woman to say what she has to say politically.
Right.
And a lot of people don't know anything about politics. Mm-hmm. They seem like they do. They act like they do. They say so many things and they choose presidents that they don't do no research on and don't know nothing. So here's this beautiful Black woman coming into a cultured area, hip hop, to explain what's happening in that industry. Nobody's really understanding what she's saying.
They're very emotional,
right?
And it's off-putting because this woman has spoken in different colleges and different rooms, in the room full of melanated people. This is the response. But let's go ahead.
Another thing. What is she? She talked about real things like the illiteracy of our children.
She's gonna start that. So
she was saying that, but yeah. Okay.
Illegal immigration. The second thing that I think is really important, and you may have heard me testify in front of Congress, is the illiteracy rates that are facing Black America. 75% of Black boys in California can't pass a reading exam. Across Baltimore, they looked at 5 schools. They couldn't find a single Black boy that was a single Black child that could pass a basic reading or a math exam. So I caught a lot of slack because I said, this is a Democrat plantation, but I meant what I said. If you look historically at what the plantations were when we were slaves, there were 3 things that were necessary for them to run. The first was our ignorance. Black Americans were not allowed to learn how to read unless we would have our limbs chopped off. And that was because an educated mind cannot be enslaved. So the fact that our schools are in this condition in the inner cities and all throughout America and not a single candidate is talking about it is problematic to me. I think that that's a huge negotiating tool for me. We need to be talking about the inner city schools. Another component.
So let's stop it right there because that was a lot. Mm-hmm. And most people can't hear that.
No,
they don't want to hear.
Let us know what you guys think as well. They don't want to hear what?
I feel like she was saying so many good points. Let's keep going. Let's just let her speak. Let's keep going.
And this is the biggest issue that I think is facing Black America today, which was important to maintaining the plantations, was the breakdown of family. The biggest issue facing Black America is father absence. We have children that are growing up without their fathers in the home, and that is being incentivized by the government right now via the welfare system. When the government says we'll give you more money if you don't marry the father of your children, you are incentivizing bad behavior in our community. What happens when you remove a father from the home? This is why I do not mess with feminism at all. I'm not with it. This breakdown and mocking masculinity, making it seem like there's something wrong to be a man, all of this contributes to the breakdown of family. When you remove...
y'all. Hey, hold on. So, hold on, brother, hold on. There's going to be an opportunity for each of you to engage, but I want to make sure this sister has the right to talk while she's here. That's why we invited her. So let her say what she needs to say, and then let's keep it moving. Come on, y'all.
The single motherhood rate in the 1960s in Black America, and they thought that.
Now, hold on.
I want to finish this.
This is on your behalf. At a certain point, we can't be assholes. At a certain point, these are Black men and women, and in particular, these are Black women. On some real G shit. It doesn't matter how you feel about her personally. Everything she has just said, Louis Farrakhan said for the last 25 fucking years. So with no, and I don't know if she's a fan of Farrakhan. I know me and Tamika are. Bam. But you cannot take the truth and be mad at who tells it to you. So just chill, bro. Shut the fuck up. Let her say it and receive the information. That's it.
Like them or not.
I apologize. I digress.
Thank you.
Mike, thank you so much for saying what.
It's weird because.
Well,
so
get that off and just.
I think. Let's get that. Yeah. Go ahead, say what you feel.
Well, at the end of the day, she dropped so many gems from letting us know that our 74% of the fathers are not in the home in the Black community.
Mm-hmm.
So you mean to tell me you can grab about 6 kids,
mm-hmm.
and about probably 1 or 2 of them are the only one with a real daddy in the home. Everybody else, single parent mom.
Right.
What does that do for y'all men? Like, how do y'all feel about that?
How do the men feel about that?
That's the real question.
Right.
How do you feel about that? That a lot of Black women are single parent mothers.
They're not married.
And I was out today and I seen, a guy, he was just with his kids. No mom was there. Maybe she was taking a break. And all the kids took all their bikes out, all their scooters, all their stuff to go play. Mm-hmm. And I think that is so needed in a child's life to have a father, to have experiences with their father, to remember my dad taught me how to ride my bike or taught me how to drive, taught me something, and put value in that kid's life. Right. But to not have a father there at all, that just makes that damages the child.
It does.
And I can be a prime example for that, but not really. But yes, I can say I've hurt so much because my dad wasn't around.
Right.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Right.
Let's keep it going.
Continue, because I was listening.
Yeah. So, I've been turned into public enemy number one. I say the same thing when I hit every stage. The single motherhood rate in the Black community in the 1960s, before Lyndon Baines Johnson started the Great Society Act, was 23%. At that time, that was considered very high. 23% of Black people growing up without a father in the home. The single motherhood rate in the Black community today is 74%. 74% of our children are growing up without a father in the home. It was Barack Obama, who I don't even really have anything for, who told you what happens when you remove a father from the home. You're 9 times more likely to end up in prison. You're 6 times more likely to drop out of high school, and you're 12 times more likely to lead a life of poverty. Why is nobody talking about father absence, and why do we keep being silenced when we actually do? This is what Black conservatism is, by the way. It's really not. It's not that controversial.
How do we begin to really deal with that? Because the federal government creating zones has normally been the places where gentrification starts first.
Okay, that was my point. I had a question for both of you young ladies, and you and Candace, we spoke many times, and you're a brilliant young lady. But my question to you is, how is it that you can support yourself? That you can support and align with a constituency that will not denounce white supremacy? So that means your son or daughter.
But I want us to talk about that because that right there,
we don't need to get too political.
Of what she just said about 75% 5% of Black women with children are single mothers. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That means,
and in our children,
and we're not talking about y'all are together and stuff. If you're not married, you're single.
Yeah, no matter what.
This is the reality. This is crazy. It was 26%, and it jumped up to 75%. That's the majority of women. That means you're better off guessing that she's not married and she has a kid than you are guessing that she is married and has a kid. That's astonishing to me.
And the sad part as well, adding on to that for the women, but our children can't read and write or do math. They couldn't find a single Black child in that community that was able to pass a bar. Our children can't take tests. And why is that? Because our mothers, our fathers,
because they're too
busy.
This is the thing. I think this is the thing that's wrong with the minority and the melanated people in this country. It essentially comes down to, are you willing to do what it takes?
Right.
I think we make a lot of excuses, saying things are racist, saying it's somebody else's fault, saying this is the reason, being the victim, and not taking full responsibility and saying, I'm the reason why I'm here, and I'm going to be the reason to get myself out of it. And I think that is the biggest thing, because these things are all things that Black people can fix themselves.
Right.
And for somebody to yell and scream at her because she was saying, hey, your biggest problem is something that you can fix
and yourself. I bet you that person, because it was a man screaming in the back, he
probably has baby mamas.
Kids.
And he didn't like his truth coming out.
Exactly.
Because when people react in that way, it's because they don't want to be revealed.
She got those people in another way. People think like, oh, I'm going to talk about gang violence, this and that. No, I'm talking about fatherless parents. Fatherless children out there. Right. And you're one of them, screaming and yelling, and your kid needs your help right now. And
we were kind of talking about this, and we had watched Coming to America. We were talking about the originals, and we were talking about the story of the bastard child. And there's so many bastard children.
Right.
And when you really think of what is a bastard child and why did they call it that? This child is usually, that's the one that comes out and, and is better than all the other kids, right? Yeah, usually that's the story because they had to fight. But now it's cool to be that. So there's not that drive to be better.
Right.
And we have all of these children that are traumatized from not having a father in the home. And we could blame it on the system. We can blame it on, all of the things, the roadblocks. But honestly, it's pretty easy to get what you want out of life. You just got to be willing to do the work. And a lot of people complain about it so they don't have to do the work.
Right.
And that's the truth. What do you think?
I think it's facts. And then also what the doubtfulness that we have in ourselves. It's like we want to do something, but we're so scared that we're like,
I won't even say we're.
I'm going to
They're so scared.
They're so scared, of course.
Not us.
Not me, because I'm not afraid to do anything. I actually am
those are not my problem,
and I do things because I want to do them and not because I'm going to hold myself back to it. If I think about it, trust and believe I will be getting that done. But a lot of people praise on the idea of becoming something, and then when the universe or whatever, God pops up and gives you that opportunity, they're like, oh, it's too much for me. I didn't mean now. What do you mean you didn't mean now? It's happening now. And so when it happens now, then they're like, oh, well, I can't do it. I can't run this race. No, I can't do it. No, never mind.
I mean, I've seen people do that all the time. I mean, I've done fast and told people about it. I was like, oh, I could never do that. And it's like,
yeah, you can.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can. You're so
Let
much
me tell
more
you
capable.
when they can. And it's when there's a dangerous moment that happens. Like, say, for instance, they get sick. All of a sudden, you now are in the same diet regimen that I was pushing you to go on.
Right.
And it's like, oh, well, now it really comes down to my health. And it's like,
And it's like they didn't want to do it.
Right.
And that was the real thing. It wasn't that you couldn't do it.
Right.
It's that you didn't want to do it.
Right.
People need to take responsibility for their actions. 100%.
Right.
I mean, 100%.
Mm-hmm.
But what we see, the same thing like Derek Jackson, the same, like these people that, especially the melanated people, do not take responsibility. It's as if it's just blame. You're the reason. And it kind of is insulting to the people who did make it. Because it's like, well, what about them? Their work doesn't count? And it's like, no, well, they're special. So no. Because people think, oh, that person's lucky. Oh, if I just had enough money
have that
to do
same
this.
ability.
It's like everybody has the same 24 hours.
Right.
Everybody can make their own situation. People have been not the smartest person and still made millions of dollars. Not the most attractive person and still made millions of dollars. Not the right skin color and still made millions of dollars.
Right.
Not even able to speak English and still make $1 million.
Not even know how to read and still made $1 million.
So I feel like anybody can do it. Anybody can be there. And it's up to people taking responsibility. And I think that it's really harmful and sad that the majority of Black women are having children and being single.
And it's like we're babying these fatherless men. We're babying.
How are you going to raise a son without a father? People think that you can do it on your own, but there's a reason why there's a divine feminine and a divine masculine. You need both of them.
Right.
There are two parts of you, the left side and the right side. This is why I think people need to get really, really educated on metaphysics, regardless of what you believe in, is because you need to know at least quantum physics and what's really going on around you, the patterns in nature, the actual connection that you have to nature and the things around you. And people aren't really looking around them. They don't realize things. They don't notice a pentagram. They don't notice the hexagon shapes. They don't notice the numbers.
They do, because when it's populated, when it becomes popular, people will then know what it is. And of course, it's like we got to get out of that culture of popularity. It's like make up your own mind of who you want to be and design it your way. It's like just because you read a history book, are you going to repeat that type of history, or are you going to make your own history?
Right.
So it's just
But I think the biggest thing that Black people and the melanated community, and I will say this because that is my community. I mean, that is what I'm associated with, and
because of the complexion of your skin.
Because of the complexion of my skin. If we want to use that as a way that somebody gets it into the Black community, well, then I guess I'm in. And what I gotta say about this is that you can't kick me out.
Right.
You can't kick me out. That's stupid. But what I can say, you can't kick me out if you let white people in. Let's start there.
We're too nice. We're so agreeable, and that's why we lose. And I want you to hear, if we can get back, I don't know if we could skip what T.I. is talking about, whatever, but I do want to have her intervene real quick.
Who, her?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You want to finish watching this?
Yeah, I just wanted her to say what she had to say. Say what you need to say.
Okay. Let's get back
and then I do want to put that other lady because she runs really well with what you're talking about.
Okay.
Investment. They're just doing it to shelter their tax dollars.
So thank you, Tim.
Talking about the Republicans.
Oh, hey, you can experience.
You can tell that we don't have YouTube because we don't care about all that stuff. So at the end of the day, stop being agreeable as well. We'll talk about that soon. Here we go.
Just to talk about your first point, and then Katrina, you respond to the second point.
All right. So to tackle the white supremacy thing, your question was a fallacy because you said you insinuated that he has not denounced white supremacy.
He hasn't.
Go to his go to his Twitter feed right now. Right now, go back to the shooting. He said, no, because we got to tell the truth. I said, no, stop. Now you're cutting me off, right? There we go. Now we're even.
What he said was that.
So listen.
What he said was that there was good.
No. Let me finish. Stop. Because you guys are so hung up on Charlottesville, and nobody heard the entire clip. I want to talk about why we get manipulated. I'm being serious, guys. I'm not even trying to make this like a contentious moment, because this is literally why Black America loses right here. Because we allow people with cameras to go hear a whole speech, like they do this to me all the time. They take out a couple of sentences you said, and they create a whole new headline. And people that were not there get incensed and get emotional and don't actually go back to hear what was actually said in full context. They do it to me all the time. I know they do it to Trump. He has denounced white supremacy so many times. It's something north, somebody counted up 24 times, and it's on his Twitter feed. So if you want to fact check me, go back to a couple of weeks ago when the shootings happened. He said, America.
Okay, first of all, when this lady talks, and like for people who don't care about, like, you don't care about politics, and you don't.
It's
really
not
care.
even about the.
No,
politics.
I know. This is what I'm saying. So all the information she's saying, they sound like I'm not gonna go listen to you. I don't like the way that you're thinking that. I'll go. No, nobody went to go fact check nothing.
Right.
And just people
nobody
judge
went,
you for the people you associate with.
No matter if the message is actually
facts. They don't care, because it doesn't matter if you hate somebody, you don't like them, or whatever.
You need to be willing to hear the truth. And this is what the video is really telling you. Is like, are you willing to sit there and really hear the truth?
Are you trying to hear the grand scheme of things?
Right. And it's like, a lot of people act like they want the truth. No. But when the truth is handed to them, this is the reaction. Right. So let's get back into it. Sorry.
There's no place for white nationalism and white supremacy, and it's an issue that has to be tackled. I'm paraphrasing. You can go find it.
Although
so I want to
himself a nationalist.
Secondly,
he calls himself a nationalist.
Stop. You can fact check me. I'm either lying to your face. You can go on Twitter right now. Right. You can do it live.
So which one do you want us to believe? The first thing he says, or what he says after the media comes after him?
No, I'm talking about
because the first thing he said was that
you're asking a different question than T.I. did. T.I. said, "How can you work with an administration that has never denounced white supremacy?" You're talking about Charlottesville.
I'm talking about talking points that come out later. But what he starts with is racism. That's what comes out his mouth when he starts.
See? And let me tell you something.
How many mass
and let me tell you why the black vote is the easiest vote for Democrats to keep for the last 60 years. All they have to do to get our vote, let me tell you something. If people know what you fear, you are the easiest person to control. The Democrats have figured out that black.
That's right there. If people know what you fear, you are the easiest to control. What's up, J Dub? Good evening.
Good evening, Jay.
So thank you for coming in, dropping the comment,
dropping that like, and dropping the share,
okay,
and letting everybody know you're here.
So so we were in the middle of this Candace Owen, T.I., Killer Mike, and some other people's panel, and it's a little political, but it's really a message to the black people that I think that we need to hear. So let's get back into it. You want to get back into it?
Of course, yeah.
No.
America is emotionally responsive to the word racism. She says racism, you jump up and you start cheering. You haven't even listened to what I've said to rebut it, okay?
But it's the
100%. The biggest issue, let me finish. The biggest issue facing black America is not white supremacy. When Trump said there were good people on both sides, he was talking about the fact that some people that were in the Charlottesville rally, and he could have paraphrased that better, he could have said something better, literally came there because they don't believe that statues should be torn down, okay? Other people came there because they were upset that amongst the people that came there to watch the statue be torn down were also white nationalists. So what he meant was there were some people that were just there using their First Amendment right. There were some people that were there to respond to the white nationalists, and a big mess happened. I'm not trying to defend him or relitigate a situation. I'm saying that being hung up on that is allowing you to not look at an administration that is tackling so many issues in black America right now. I do not consider myself a Republican. I definitely am not a Democrat, but Trump woke me up. I used to be liberal. Trump woke me up to the idea that we're being manipulated by the word racism every 4 years.
So wait.
Every 4 years. They call everybody racist.
All right. We're going to get into this because what I
see that right there, I feel like is the truth. People need to know that you're being manipulated.
And we don't like to hear that. And first of all, I would have thought that after hearing this, that people would make a difference, make a change. We can hear information and go bed and forget all about it. And like everything she said is not true. No one questioned her about the fatherless thing. T.I., ain't you a daddy?
Right.
You left your baby mama to marry T.I. With Tiny.
Right.
So
you're a good example. Right. You're a black man who's married, has children.
Didn't say anything about that. No one spoke about that. They moved on and talked about another subject.
Talk about Trump to get people mad.
Exactly.
And that's the problem.
But because why didn't that black lady speak? Because she's a woman and say, you know what, you are right. Like, this is a problem. What are we going to do about this, men?
Right.
Men. Nobody brought that. Anything to help us. We don't actually really want the help. We continue to complain and worry about other people's business, like Trump. Like, why you care? Why did that hype you up? It didn't hype you up.
Why did politics hype black people up so bad when your biggest problems are problems we could fix within the community?
Right.
Why are we not sitting down, all random black people for Oprah and putting it together like a big summit where we can all, men and women, come and talk together on these healthy conversations? We can actually do that. We can put together a whole program where we invite a whole bunch of men and a whole bunch of women, and we have different therapists there. We work through different exercises and really build our relationships with each other. If our numbers are looking like
what's happening,
75% of black women are single and don't get married. That's very startling.
Right.
That's very, very startling because that is bad. That's a majority of the women, and a majority of the women want to get married.
And then
so it's like, what's going on in that dynamic?
It's crazy because
they're still having kids.
Right. For every black man, there's 2 black women for every black man. And you mean to tell me 74% of those men are not interested in building a family with black women?
There you go right there. There needs to be a conversation. There needs to be something, because that right there, you don't have to deal with politically. You don't have to you don't have to cry about certain things. No. When you get your own house in order, you don't have to look outside yourself and say, well, there's problems over here. And yes, there's a bunch of problems. There are problems waiting for you to pick them up. Right. But what's your immediate problem as a community? And it's not who you're going to put in presidency. No. It's not about your children. It's not about your children seeing some 15% black woman become vice president. It's not about your children seeing some 50% black man become president. That's not going to do much for the person. Why? Because people made it when they didn't have that example. Right. It doesn't matter if you have the example or not. It's you believe that you can do it. When people have a real calling, it's not because somebody told them about Collins. It's about they felt in their soul that I have to do this or die. Right. That is my situation. And a lot of the time, it's not. Jay says it was 1 to 12 in Atlanta at one time. Oh my God.
That's crazy.
I would never live in Atlanta ever in my life. 1 to 12. 1 to 12. Black so that means he's likely to cheat on you with 12 other women.
Right. And that's what's probably happened with Derek Jackson.
This is why, well, yeah. I mean, there you go right there. But this is why there's so many baby mamas. These women, it's like they have been brainwashed so much that they allow these men to give them children without commitment to them. It's like saying, you don't have respect for yourself.
Right.
To require something for you to give, like men give you the spirit, right? They give you that spirit to activate the egg.
Right.
You allow him to activate one of your eggs and you're not gonna make him marry you?
No, we don't even. Weird. It's a different culture we have here in this world where it's not required for you to be married.
Right. Ibrahim says in Haiti it's the same thing. That's sad because I didn't even know that. That's really sad because if this is the situation, it's like, what's the importance of marriage? What's the importance of having that family? The biggest importance is for the child.
Right.
the child needs that for its development. It's like saying your kid went to school all of these years but never got a math class. It just grew up with all the other classes, social studies, science and stuff, but then skipped math. When you know math is one of the most important parts of it, you know, other ones, yes, they're important, but like that math part is like, if you don't know math, how you going to deal with money? How you going to deal with like your life, right?
Well, that's why a lot of the
same thing like men
doesn't know how to deal with money.
Don't know how to deal with money. Don't know how to take responsibility. No. Don't have the structure and discipline to get things done the correct way. Why? Because you're missing the father. And we can say they put in the fathers in jail and we're doing all of this.
But why is the father not making a commitment? Like, there's a lot of people who have to like stop what they're doing and say, okay, well, I just made a child. I'm going to have to straighten up. But our culture is not to do that.
Even I said, what about lesbians who have kids without a dad? That's a big one because the studies haven't come out because it hasn't happened long enough for us to really know what that would come out to be. But technically, if you're raised with all women and you're around just women, it's going to be very interesting on how you deal with men. It's the same thing if it was two men and not have that women influence. It's the same thing. You can't just have... The studies haven't come out yet, and that means that everybody who's doing it is a guinea pig, and we'll see in 20 years how that turns out. But in the reality of it, it's just like, if you don't have that component, if you don't have at least the child, and it's like the dad needs to live there. The dad needs to live there
until they're 18 and out of the house.
Right. Tone Deaf says, loving this topic. Right. Because I think it's a good topic for us to really get into because it's one of the biggest problems that we're facing
in America. And it's like, and you round up these children and you look at them and you're like, you ain't got no daddy in the home.
Right.
And it's sad because you go outside to neighborhoods of other races, their daddies teaching them how to ride a bike, like I just said.
Right.
And I'm not in a minority. I don't live I live like basically kind of, I would feel like it's a lot of different people, but where I was at, it's like
pretty diverse.
Yeah. But it was more Caucasian people, and they were the ones, to me, bringing their kids to the like, where was I? The marina. So like they were over there, like getting on boats and things like families don't really like, if you see a black family doing it, you're like, oh, they're rich. And it's like, it's not a rich culture thing to do. It's actually something to do. It's like, we're not actually being more adventurous on the things that we want to do. We have to wait until our kids have to go to a community school, like a community center, or it's
just more of the government, more of the system, more of that.
The system. Yes, exactly.
There's not any personal responsibility to make sure that your child is raised and brought up with the right academics, with the right nutrition, with the right mindset, with the right beliefs, with the right.
That's why you have to goals. Be older.
This is
to make these choices. Yeah. I had a child at a young age, so I understand those experiences, and that's why I don't have more than one kid right now, because I would never make that choice to make multiple children in this world. And I'm not even there yet financially to support all these children that are put in the world. It's very important to understand that it's more than just making sure your kid has a roof over their head. You got to actually teach them how to be a human being.
Right.
And how,
and if you yourself have not developed into that human being that can teach other human beings, you're really just learning with the child, and the mistakes that you make is horrible. We've seen it happen over and over and over again. Right. And it's crazy because they were like, the Black community, this is a generation of children who were born from crackhead parents or grandparents. This is their legacy of what's coming forth. And what has been coming forth has been some crazy mess, because at the end of the day, what I know, but like for that being is like, I don't want to just say like, oh, it's because, everybody's parents were crackheads and all this stuff. It's not necessarily that. It's the fact of it is that where's the responsibility? Mm-hmm. It's everybody wants to escape. I was watching a commercial. I never really watch commercials, but I was watching it, and it was a Geico commercial, and it was a Black woman, and they came into her house and they were like, oh, do you want to get Geico if your favorite rap singers sing it to you? And then the rappers came out and they started singing and she started dancing and it was like, yeah. And then I was like, that's a dig on Black people. That right there,
that's what Candace was
is showing you that if I just entertain you, I don't have to tell you why. I don't have to sell it to you. I don't tell you that I'll give you a better deal, something. Let me just entertain you. Let me distract you. And then because you like the person I'm entertaining you with, this is how I'm going to get you. And now, because of social media, people have seen this is how you use Black people. Now they're going to use and play it on everybody's emotions. Now it's going to be stop anti-Asian. Then it's going to be stop anti-Hispanic. Then it's going to be thing until it goes back to the white people. And now it's going to say stop anti-white. And that's the thing is like once you start going down this slippery slope, it's going to end up bad for everybody. Mm-hmm. So that's why it's important to take responsibility. It's definitely important to take responsibility, but we can get back into it because I know you wanted to.
What I'm concerned about is how is that any different than the fear that Trump has created in poor whites? The fear that Trump has lifted in poor whites, that Black people and poor urban people are their problem.
Right. When did Trump ever say that? That's a fallacy. When did Trump ever say Black people are their problem?
Make America great again. That's when he said it.
Guys,
I'm not on the panel.
That was Ronald Reagan's slogan. Was that racist when Ronald Reagan had it as a slogan?
Yes. What time?
It was.
Yes. Let me ask you.
So that
please
slogan is racist.
Please answer this. I have a question.
Wait.
Please just allow me just one outburst. Please. I have a question. When you say make America great again, which period are we talking about? The period when women couldn't vote? The period when we were hanging from trees?
I'll answer.
Or like the crack era? Which period in America are you trying to make America like again?
I actually think that I would totally rock a hat right now that said make Black America great again. Because Black America.
We're talking about make America. That wasn't the question.
I am answering your question.
Period was America great that we're trying to replicate? Which era was it? Tell me.
I think I'll answer your question. I'm ready to answer your question.
Which era was it?
What?
Which era was so great?
Here's the thing that you guys are forgetting. America was actually one of the slavery was all over the world. All over the world. America was. I'm not saying it's okay. So why are you saying oh?
Amen.
America was one of the first countries.
I want to like you so bad.
I'm trying to answer your question.
I want to like you so much.
I can't answer the question.
I want to hear you. I want to be able to hear them. I want to be able to hear them.
If I can't answer the question and you're just going to boo when I say slavery was all over the world, which is a fact, why are you booing a fact?
Because you're making light of.
No, I'm not.
You're making light
I haven't gotten into my points. I'm not
making people that look like us. You can't make light of that. That ain't nothing you breeze over.
I haven't even finished the sentence. How am I making light of anything?
You started with some bullshit.
Okay.
And they loving it. They love that. This is not WWF.
So, Candace, hold on, wait.
We can be emotional, we can boo, you can cheer, but I'm telling you right now, the Black vote is not going to matter after the next about 5 years if you don't start paying attention to what I'm saying to you. Because I'm trying to tell you guys the truth, the absolute truth about what is happening in Black America. You are being used, abused, and lied to and manipulated emotionally by the Democrat Party. That is what I am here to tell you. You want to keep uprising and talking about racism when they're taking our fathers out of the home, when they're making
that already.
No.
We got you.
Because we're seeing it happen right here. Right here. I'm telling you it. And you're being responsive because I can't finish a sentence about what I was going to say about slavery.
Disagree.
Katrina.
Everyone in totality
because you started with some bullshit. Oh, and that's culture, man. That's not intellectual. That's culture.
I need you to come in because this point is dead.
How is it dead? First of all, I want to say something. This is the sad part about Black Americans. Y'all are so thirsty to just be so just culturally hood rat to me. And first of all, he's not like, you started with some BS. And it was like, how? Sis, how? How did she start with some BS if she's trying to explain something to you and you won't let her say anything? At the end of the day, to me, I intervened as in that this lady was basically letting you know that when Black America was great was the time when we had Black Wall Street.
When we had the families
together. Where America was booming and they had to make secret videos. Caucasian people had to go and make secret videos to teach people how to sell to Black people because they got money and we can get money from them. Because once they let us to be on our own side, and this was between 1920s and Tulsa, Oklahoma. Mm-hmm. So they were over there creating businesses, schools. Their kids were super smart and they didn't even see violence. And they didn't see a lot of things because they were covered because Black people
protected themselves. Yeah, they watched over themselves. Right. They used their money among themselves and really cared about their community.
Their problem was letting people in. They're so sweet. We're so nice to everybody. And we let people come in and manipulate us. And that's the same thing that happened to the Black women. We let these men come in here and manipulate us. And then boom.
Into having their child and not asking them to give you marriage. And I think it comes down to a self-love situation, because it's like, if you love yourself, you're more than willing to put yourself up against like, oh, okay, well, if you don't want to marry me, then goodbye.
Right.
It's that simple. Mm-hmm. But unfortunately, that's not always the case.
Yeah, this one is a little more shorter than what you're about to play. So
no, I'm not going to play this. I'm going to remove this and I'm going to play this because I think this is also
a good way to also understand about children or adults making decisions because, first of all, you didn't want to get married and you just wanted to have fun and you have a boyfriend or whatever you got going on with your relationship. This mother is actually really telling her daughter what she needs to hear. And hopefully, if you're going through this right now as a parent, a single parent,
you need to hear this.
You need to hear this.
Everybody needs to hear this, especially if our statistics is that crazy.
Exactly.
This needs to be heard.
So you got to hear this so that you don't make no more children after this.
What grandparents supposed to do?
Let me tell you, the new generation, y'all millennials, y'all got it all fucked up. Mm-hmm. The reason why is because because I became a grandparent does not automatically make me the babysitter or a daycare. Grandparents, true grandparents, they're supposed to raise their children right to where when y'all start having kids, y'all can financially provide for your own children and secure their daycare so you can go to work, so you can go out, so you can do anything else. Grandparents.
See, let me tell you where you got it wrong.
No. True grandparents are supposed to be able to call for their grandkids. Y'all supposed to come over here. No, that's for the daddies. That's for the daddies. When the daddies ain't in the home, that's where they go for the daddies. Oh, they go to their daddies for the summer because y'all got a split custody. That's how y'all got it fucked up. Grandparents are supposed to be able to come to your house and stay with you and visit with their grandkids. You're supposed to be able to drop your kids off when your grandparents call for them and in their leisure time. Grandparents are not supposed to be daycares. Everybody's time is valuable. We have our own life. We work very hard to get everybody out of the house. Why would we want to raise your kids and keep your kids? That's out of order. But Black people, the Black culture is so dysfunctional. That's why y'all think that grandparents is supposed to be keeping kids and raising kids. It don't go that way. Y'all got it messed up.
So they're not going to self-hydrate?
And guess what? Yes, stuff like that's a portion. I'm supposed to be able to say, yo, on the 27th, I booked for me and my grandkids. Everybody going. Whoever ain't going, I don't need y'all money. I don't need y'all nothing. I don't need nothing. I just need my grandkids.
Right.
That's what we're supposed to do.
So we can't just drop them off when we want to.
No, it don't supposed to be dropping them off when you want to.
Like, here go your grandkids.
No, it don't. No.
See,
no, it don't go like that. You know why? Because we already had our lives with raising kids. We don't supposed to be tied down raising fucking kids. We supposed to be gardening, going to the senior citizens place, bingo, and all that other fucking shit. That's what we raised y'all for, to be able to take care of y'all kids. We didn't send y'all out when y'all did go. Where y'all go? The summers. And where did y'all go? To y'all other people. Your daddy people. the daddy is not in the home, he's supposed to do the summers. Y'all supposed to rotate holidays. What the fuck? Y'all, but see what it is? Y'all think that we supposed to do that because y'all got a sense of entitlement. Y'all think just because I'm the mom, I'm the grandma, that you're supposed to push your kids off on me. That's not how it goes. But it takes strong mothers like me to let you know the shit don't go like that. To get it right. Other than that, I'll be sitting here rocking all y'all goddamn kids and y'all doing this, doing that. No. No. Trust and believe. They will be in the system. They will be at the shelter. They will be wherever they need to be because you didn't do what the fuck you were supposed to do as a parent. Now, it had nothing to do with me.
You wouldn't.
I most definitely fucking would.
Oh, Becky Petty.
I told you that off the rip. I'm not fucking doing it. I know what kind of life I want to fucking live after raising all my 5 kids. I'm not raising nobody else's kids. I'm here to support. Call me and she's sneezing. That's what I'm supposed to do. That's what grandparents supposed to do.
That's me. I call every little thing.
That's why people
all this, they living with their grandmama. They ain't seen their mama. They all this stuff. No. That's for the wretches.
Right.
And I don't play that because nobody.
So right there, Jay says she's so on point. And she is, because this is like some true statements right there.
That's for the
this generation got it messed up.
It's too funny for them.
It's like that's why there's so many teen pregnancies, is because they think that there's people obligated to help them.
Right.
But you didn't require the man that activated your egg to help you. No. But you expect other people who didn't activate your egg to help you.
She said the mom told her the truth. She said you better go to the system with all that. If you think you're going to drop your kids off to me, they're going to be going to the shelter home. They're going to be foster kids.
Right.
All that stuff.
Because I'm not raising no kids. And you can't get mad at somebody for telling you they're not raising your kid.
No. I didn't sign up for that. Go ask your baby daddy.
See, a lot of people and then when they have kids with people, right? This is why I would tell you, like, if you're not looking at this person, how the way that they are, how's their family, what's the life that you're creating with? Right. Because that baby is, if it's just going to be you, you're going to have another him. So you're going to have half of him. Are you willing to take half of him? Do you, for real?
Right.
People think like, oh, well, you know, it's just my kid. Well, your kid is half of them. And people subconsciously end up hating their own kid because they hate their baby daddy or they hate them baby mother because
it's sad.
It's a sad
world we live in sometimes.
And but it's sad for the Black people because the same thing like Candace Owens said, and people can't hear it past their emotions. She was saying truth, she was saying fact, but because it was emotionally triggering, because she said things that you necessarily didn't agree with, you blocked out all the truth and you were willing to go crazy. This is not WWE. This is not WWF.
Right.
Be logical with this. Stop bringing your heart to your mind.
Exactly.
Game. Like, yo, you can't bring your emotions when it comes to making your logical decisions, your real life decisions. People be bringing their emotions with that. You definitely, you know, bring your mind into your emotions because you don't need those emotions because your emotions are like water. They're wavy. They go up and down. A big wave could come and kill you. Like, people died from just a rip in the water. I remember in Mexico, that wave knocked us down. That's an emotion right there. That's an emotion. And if we don't take our logic with us, then we will continue to be played because they will continue to give you these artificial waves to knock you down, to say racism, to say this, to tell you. They're laughing at that woman. They're not even really listening to her. They're like, I'm going to drop my kid off still. And it's like, you're not getting it still. That's the messed up part.
And that's the same thing, period. I feel like we're just so connected to laughter and just like we have, entertainment, period. Because you said that even with the commercial, the Black lady had to hear a rapper sing for her to make that decision. Like, no. Like, do our own research, find our own information, and stop taking things emotionally. I think that once we stop taking like one quote that we made earlier was no emotion when you're handling things.
Yeah.
And then we switched it because it's like when you're heading things, like the root chakra, like anything that has the crown chakra. I said the root. Well, it is the root is behind. level. But anyways, yeah, it's like literally don't deal with your emotions when you're handling something.
Right.
Like think of it as, okay, I'm just getting the information and actually digesting it. And then if you accept it, you accept it. If you don't, you don't. It don't really even matter.
Right.
Because at the end of the day,
but you don't have to have an emotional reaction to it.
Yeah.
And I think that's the biggest thing. It's like when you're so reactive, are you even active?
No.
Are you even in the present? Are you even living life? It's just like, I'm continuously reacting. I'm emotional. I'm a victim. I'm this. You're weak. That's what it's telling you. And when you're the strongest people, they have convinced you to be a weak people when you're the strongest people. And it's like, dang, you're so strong and you're weak. I hate that because it's like, and then it's crazy because the way they activate you to be strong is so divisive, even to the Black man. Like even them giving $10 billion to Black women is a punch in the face to Black men, saying we're gonna give your woman more money. That's just the same thing like welfare. It's just like, hey, we don't care about you Black men. It's not about lifting you. Continue to make that Black woman single and independent because she can go on because she's going to get more money for doing that. And it's like, really, your happiness? Because Black women aren't happy being single. No. Black women aren't happy being the strongest, independent, this and that.
And the weaker link with no husband.
I'm sure it's good to be strong, but it's not good when you're the only one who can be strong, when you are raising sons and he only is looking at women as being strong and men as being cowards. This is the reality that we're raising our kids in. And I think if people really realize, like, wow, we're raising men to be cowards if there's only strong women around. Because other races have strong men around. And our race has strong women.
Black women.
So what about the men? Oh, the men are cowards. The men do things to get in trouble so they don't have to deal with their responsibilities.
It's sad. It's like
because it's easy. It's easy not to get in trouble. It's pretty hard to get in trouble. You have to go out of your way to get in trouble because you don't have to.
It's true.
It's so much easier to mind your business. It's so much easier to start a company and to do things on your own and to build things and to do research and to do. But it's so much harder to depend on somebody else to do it.
Exactly. And wait for them.
Right.
And wait. And we be sitting, they be sitting there waiting. Right. And then when things don't work out, and it's just like, why didn't it work out? Because you're doubtful and you're weak and you're scared. Stop it.
So I wanted to add just one more clip.
Okay.
Because I think that what he said in the beginning, this is another clip from somebody else. See, we got the clips tonight, guys. We wanted to do it separately, but it all meshed in together. And this is by Jordan Peterson. So I'm going to add this stream, remove. Okay, and let's hear this out, and then we'll let you guys go.
You've said that men need to, quote, grow the hell up. Tell me why.
Well, because there's nothing uglier than an old infant.
Okay.
There's nothing good about it. People who don't grow up don't find the sort of meaning in their life that sustains them through difficult times, and they're certain to encounter difficult times. And they're left bitter and resentful and without purpose and adrift and hostile and resentful and vengeful and arrogant and deceitful and of no use to themselves and of no use to anyone else and no partner for a woman. And there's nothing in it that's good.
So that sounds pretty bad. You're saying there's a crisis of masculinity. I mean, what do you do about it?
You help people understand why it's necessary and important for them to grow up and adopt responsibility. Why that isn't a shake your finger and get your act together sort of thing. Why it's more like a delineation of the kind of destiny that makes life worth living. I've been telling young men, but it's not. I wasn't specifically aiming this message at young men to begin with. It just kind of turned out that way.
And it's mostly, you admit, it's mostly men listening. I mean, 90% of your audience is a man.
Well, it's about 80% on YouTube, which is YouTube is a male domain primarily. So it's hard to tell how much of it is because YouTube is male and how much of it is because of what I'm saying. But what I've been telling young men is that there's an actual reason why they need to grow up, which is that they have something to offer. You know, that people have within them this capacity to set the world straight, and that's necessary to manifest in the world. And that also doing so is where you find the meaning that sustains you in life.
So what's gone wrong then?
Oh, God. all sorts of things have gone wrong. I don't think that young men hear words of encouragement. Some of them never in their entire lives, as far as I can tell. That's what they tell me. And the fact that the words that I've been speaking, the YouTube lectures that I've done and put online, for example, have had such a dramatic impact is an indication that young men are starving for this sort of message, because like, why in the world would they have to derive it from a lecture on YouTube? No, they're not being taught that it's important to develop yourself.
But does it bother you?
So right there, and we could leave it at that, but right there, all that he just said. Go ahead.
I feel like it is true, especially when they're a single parent mom in the home. She's so busy, worrying about herself that sometimes she doesn't have the moment to tell her son, great job today, and so they have to be tough. And so that's why when they hit the emotional part with relationship women, they hide it, because they have to act tough in front of their parents, or their mom, whoever is in the home. If they only have a dad, he's tough on him, and so men don't really get that sense of encouragement. And then also, I think everything that he said was spot on.
And I think, like, to get on to what you said is like that sense of encouragement. I think the reason why they don't have that encouragement is because women are the ones who getting that encouragement. Women are the ones who said to, like, even a little girl, you can be anything, you can do this. Yeah. And the little boy is kind of babied.
Right.
The little boys are, if we all seen the movie Baby Boy, they're all baby boys. Right. They're continuously being coddled by their mother. They're not really told they're strong, they can do anything. No. The little girl is told now that she's strong and she can do anything. And it's really crazy how that dynamic happens. And like he said, if people really understand that there's more value and purpose in life when you have discipline, when you have responsibilities, and not to run away from them.
I think that's 100% facts.
Yeah. Right. All right, guys. Well, we said our piece today. It was nice hearing you guys and what you thought of all of this, because I mean, this was a great topic to have.
Yeah, it was definitely a great topic, and I hope that it helped every woman and man, to see something find value in themselves and see the grand scheme of things. Because at the end of the day, it's pretty simple to live a simple life and have a great life at that, without intervening in any nonsense that comes your way. It's all what you think, and not use your emotion when you're handling things. And so just move forward.
And I really look forward to maybe one day in the future, really maybe even putting a conference together where Black men and Black women can come together and really have the deep conversations with professionals, and we can do groups and really dive deep into conversations that we've been needing to have with each other for a very long time, without excuses. Without excuses.
Right.
So guys, make sure that you hit the like. Good night, Jay.
Good night, Jay.
Thank you for watching. We appreciate you.
Yes.
Make sure you guys hit the like, share, and follow, subscribe on all the platforms. Nothing's Wrong Podcast.
And then also hit up our Cash App if you would like to support the channel. And
we always want to take that money, honey.
Exactly. $, Nothing's Wrong Pod. And always remember, everybody.
Always remember.
Nothing
is wrong. See you guys in the next episode.
Have a good night.
Good night.
See you next time.